Howdy, and welcome to Book Your Give Here. We're Travel That Gives. I'm Lulu Lima, your chief travel guru. I hope this episode of Dream Now Travel Later inspires you to travel, and I invite you to give us the opportunity to help plan your next memorable trip. So grab your popcorn and enjoy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this amazing Friday. I am so excited that I actually know what day of the week it is, being that we're all in quarantine and, we're still kind of going, what day, what are we doing? So a little bit inspiration, Julie Cardamone of the Mint Collection is here with us today, and she manages a ton of these amazing properties around the world. And so she's going to kind of give us a little bit of tastes of and pleasures of some of these amazing boutique properties. And the reason I'm bringing her on is because I really like the boutique property concept, especially also now that we're doing a lot of that social distancing and we're kind of worried about all of those moving pieces. These are really great smaller properties offering a lot of unique pieces of the puzzle. They're not these grandiose properties where you have to worry about, oh my God, am I going to be with 1,000 people? So I think this is a great opportunity to kind of have those conversations. So with that, I'm going to give the floor over to Julie and let her take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Lulu, for having me on here. And I'm excited to share these 3 properties with you and your audience here. A little background of who I am. Originally from North Carolina, so there's still a bit of an accent here, but I'm up in New Jersey now. And I am in my 8th year here in the leisure travel industry. And once I got in, I knew I would never leave, as I'm sure a lot of you feel. But yeah, I started the Mint Collection in 2018 to really solely focus on those boutique, independently owned properties that have a true heart and soul behind them. And there's a purpose. There's a real purpose for them being there and inviting guests. And they're really lovely little gems that I want to share with those here in the US and Canada.
And that's awesome. So with that, we're going to kind of take a look at the presentation, and we're going to, I'm hoping that, here we go. We're going to talk about the first property in Costa Brava in Spain. So tell us a little bit about some of these moving pieces.
Okay, so Mastorella is an exclusive use villa. So right now, this is going to be your ideal getaway here. So it is a villa along the Costa Brava coast of Spain. So you're only about a 90-minute drive from Barcelona. So really easy and convenient to get to, or to combine with a city stay. I know a lot of folks will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great opportunity, overall, just to kind of be able to have some of these, great moving pieces where we're going to be able to really see some of these villas in off the beaten path areas.
Yes. And a little history about this specific property. So it has been in, Mas means manor, and Torrella is the family's last name. And the last Torrella owned it until about the 1980s. And then it actually sat abandoned for about 10 years. And the locals of Palafrugell sort of took it on as like their own public park, more or less. So people would come here and they would camp out. They even rode their motorbikes in the house, like up and down the stairs. It really, really insane. Then Sylvia's the current owner, her father purchased the property. And it, like I was mentioning, it was dilapidated. So he bought it more for the land because he enjoyed hunting, but fell in love with the home and he just wanted to bring it back to life. So he started renovations. He got the first floor done. And then unfortunately the ceiling collapsed on the second floor. Yeah. So he had to more or less start over. And then sadly, he did not get to see the finished product. But Sylvia took it over and made it to what it is today. and it is a beautiful manor, 10 bedrooms. They are all en suite, so you don't have to worry about anybody sharing the bathroom.
That's
And
awesome.
it's a blank canvas. So when you come here, it can be transformed into anything your family or friends or corporate group, whatever they need. Sylvia can arrange wine tastings. She can bring in a yoga instructor, bring in the chef, maybe once or twice during the stay or the entire time. It's just whatever they need.
And so this is really great because everybody's got, all of these moving pieces. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't wait to hug so-and-so and all of that. So whether it's, a family gathering or even just a gathering of, like-minded colleagues, again, a corporate retreat of sort, because, a lot of companies are going back to, business as usual. So we've been in quarantine for so long, we kind of need that mojo going.
Yeah.
So company retreat is a really great way to experience that. And Spain is starting to open up their borders as well. So this will be a great opportunity for us to start planning for something like this, especially if we want to look at maybe traveling in fourth quarter or into 2021. Because it is an exclusive use property, we do have to make sure that we plan ahead so that we get the dates that you guys want.
Yes. And I will say also, everyone wants to go here during high season, July, August, but the shoulder season and what's considered off season is absolutely beautiful and stunning. I was here just this past February and it was so beautiful. There were very few people on the beaches and in the restaurants there. So it was really, you used to get the same beauty with less crowds.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And as you can see in the map as well, you're really not that far from Mallorca and Menorca. So you also have that opportunity if you want to kind of do some combinations of being on the on the islands and so forth. So just kind of keep that in mind as we're planning itineraries. This is, again, a great opportunity overall.
Absolutely.
So, and here's just a quick look of one of the bedrooms. That you have here. You have a beautiful country view. Again, the whole concept is that you're enjoying nature and life, right?
Yes. And the history of the house itself. And Sylvia, a lot of the artwork around the house is her own artwork. So there's so many stories behind every little nook and cranny in the house. And there's a book there that you could, read through the history of the house. But Sylvia is there herself to greet you. So she's happy to give you a tour. For instance, in that photo there, the coffee table, that coffee table is made from one of the original front doors. So yeah.
Love that. I love the repurposing and I love the, those touches. I mean, because that really truly makes it feel, even though you're on a holiday, but you're at home.
Exactly. It's very comfortable. She is sharing her home with the guests there. And even great for kids. They even have a playground in the backyard for the kids. My daughter actually tested it out in February and approves. So yeah, really
that's awesome. And there's a pool that looks like it's indoors as well.
Yeah, so this is the indoor spa area that used to be the wine cellar. But then they also have an outdoor pool, actually a very large outdoor pool there.
That's awesome. And so I'm guessing these are some of the areas, we talked about the children's playground. You've got tennis as well. So really, so the grounds are pretty large overall. And so you have a lot of opportunities where you can be together, yet you can break out into smaller groups, or even just individual families that maybe want to do something, on their own versus, coming in maybe at a meal time or something like that. So
speaking of meal time, I will mention one of the things that's really important to Sylvia is that you all gather for the meals. I mean, clearly you don't have to gather for every meal together, but that's really important to her. So every dining area, the indoor dining room, the outdoor dining room, wherever you're supposed to dine, it can accommodate all 28 people at one table. So that's very important to her. So she made sure that that space is available if you all do want to dine together.
And that's very much typical of the culture of being, around family and everything else. So that's a beautiful thing. And we're looking at some opportunities where you could do a destination wedding here as well. Again, it's all private and secluded, so that way it's just you guys. And there's a lot of different decoration opportunities as well. But nature itself is just beautiful.
Yeah. There's 1,000,001 options as far as like wedding ceremonies. Like here, you can see in the forest, you can have your ceremony in the forest. They have an actual separate building where you can have the reception indoors if you would like. So the options.
That's so awesome. And so here's just some other pieces of the puzzle in regards to the little nooks and crannies of what you're going to see while you're there.
Yeah. And what's great about where the villa is situated is you're 10 minutes from the beautiful beaches and you're 10 minutes from the medieval villages. So a really great location, and day trips from here. There's so many little villages that you can pop into. So great for day trips, tons of golf courses, Michelin star restaurants. So it really has everything.
That's awesome. So, and again, just some great opportunities for us to view and really just experience, what it is to have your own private villa in the coast of Spain.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to move on to Chile.
Yeah.
Yay. So Chile is obviously a very long country. We all fly into Santiago for the most part, and from there we kind of explore, obviously bordering Argentina and so forth. So great opportunities for lots of wine and truly lots of culinary culture, gastronomy opportunities, really.
Yes. I feel I visited Chile for the first time in 2012, fell in love with the country. There's so much that it offers. The two properties that we're going to dive into here, the first one is Hotel Casa Real. It's actually right outside of Santiago here. So you're 45 minutes from downtown or 45 minutes from the airport. So a really amazing close destination, because as you know, when you're visiting Chile, you're in and out of that Santiago airport a lot.
Yes.
Most likely you're going to go up to the Atacama Desert, then you're going to stop back over, then head down south, maybe one final night at the end. And that's where I personally really like to fit in Hotel Casa Real, is that final night at the end, because a lot of us here in the US, we are accustomed to just go, even whenever we're traveling. So it is so important to reserve one final night at a destination where you can just relax and just really think back on all the experiences, all the people that you met, really reflect on your travels before you head back to reality. And so, Hotel Casa Real, it's set on the Santa Rita Winery. And the hotel itself was the original founder's summer house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So again, it's, very boutique property. There are 16 rooms. It is run like a traditional hotel. And what's great about it, so you have the hotel, which is the home, and it's beautiful and grand, but then surrounding the hotel are 100 acres of manicured gardens. Oh. And what I love is, so the owner, she's in her 80s, she's like mid 80s now. She comes every Wednesday morning, walks the gardens with the head gardener to ensure that everything is up to her standards. So I think that's, a fun little touch. And
that's awesome.
When I walked through them, they were definitely beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got some great courtyard views. Again, lots of wine opportunities here. Your bedrooms look very classical, with clean lines, and really kind of gives you that, that country feel, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's like I was mentioning, this is that destination where you're just going to relax a bit. You're going to eat delicious food and you're going to drink delicious wine and maybe pull out that book that you brought along that you never you haven't opened up yet.
Yeah.
So,
The dead weight in our bags, right?
But yeah, so like I was mentioning, you have access to the beautiful house here. Breakfast and dinner are served at the house here. Then for lunch, you can either dine at the house, you can go over to the winery side and have lunch at their restaurant, the Donna Paola restaurant, or my favorite, you can ask for a picnic basket and pick a random tree and sit under it and have a lovely picnic in the garden.
Oh, I think I take door number 3.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. This is just super awesome. And obviously, again, you've got a very classical piece of the puzzle with weddings. You've got your church nearby, right?
It's actually right there at the house. Like you walk out the terrace and it's right there. So a neat little touch there.
And it's a Catholic church?
Yes.
Awesome. So for those of you guys who are looking for, that Catholic wedding, you can have that right on property. So, and it's a little, nice little small, and then you've got all these woods all to yourself, this beautiful, just beautiful landscaping overall.
And then, like I was mentioning, so you're here at the Santa Rita Winery. So to get over to the winery, it's literally next door. You can either walk through the gardens or, and once you get to the edge, there's this little secret door that you go through to get to the winery side that only hotel guests know about. And the other option is to have the horse and carriage pick you up and take you over.
And who doesn't love that, right? So
I had the best of both worlds. I took the horse and carriage over and then I walked back. And, of course, you have your glass of wine walking through the gardens, and it was magical.
Yeah. I mean, how could that not be magical? Wow. So, and then it looks like there's some great opportunities for some cultural and evening opportunities as well.
Yeah. So Santa Rita is more than just their wine. It's about the history of Chile and the culture. And so the restaurant here, the Donna Paola, the building that you see there, that is actually where Donna Paola rescued the 120 soldiers and brought them to health. Yeah. And so when you're going through the wine tour, you get to go see where they were and get that history lesson. But then in a
classroom.
I'm sorry.
It's a living classroom, especially for those parents who are doing homeschooling and things like that.
Yes.
You can't get better than that.
Yeah. And then across the way a bit, they have a museum. And now this museum is made up of artifacts that the owner had collected throughout his entire life. So there's over 3,000 pieces here. And you walk through and you get a really great overview of both the history of Chile and the different cultures. So like I was mentioning, you could, Hotel Casa Real is perfect for either the front end or back end. If your client is one that wants to, learn a little bit before they continue on throughout the rest of the country, tack it on at the front. But at the end, it's also wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome. So from here, we're going to go to another part of Chile where we could essentially combine this trip where you can start off in Santiago or end in Santiago and actually also go to North Patagonia on the Chile side.
Yes. So Futongue Hotel and Spa is located in northern Patagonia, which is also called the Lakes District of Chile. There are so many combinations that you can include here. If guests have never been to Chile before, they might want to go to the Atacama Desert, stop here in the Lakes District on the way down before heading down to southern Patagonia. Or if time is, a crunch, stop here at Futongue for 3 or 4 nights before heading south. And so much history here at this property. It's located right there at Lake Ronco, and the family has been vacationing here forever. And about 25 years ago, the father was approached by a local Mapuche, and he said, there's a lagoon at the top of the mountain you just have to see. So they trekked up this mountain with just machetes in their hands because there were no trails.
Yeah.
And it came upon this beautiful lagoon. And the father was like, I love this land. I want to protect it. I want to do everything I can to protect it. So he purchased different pockets of land and created his own private reserve. And yeah, for the last 25 years, that's what he's been doing. He's brought in engineers to finally build those trails so they can get around. There's over 70 miles now. They brought in biologists to study the land and discover more things. They ended up discovering 7 lagoons. There's natural hot springs at the top of one mountain. There's a lava field. There's endless number of waterfalls. And it's a beautiful piece of the country, and it's so untouched. That's what's wonderful about Futange is it's a private reserve. So they control the crowds. They are not allowing big tour groups or anything like that. So when you're here on an all-day hike, you might see 3 or 4 people during that hike.
And that's awesome. And this is a part of the world that unless you actually know who to contact to get in, you're really not going to find this on the internet.
Right.
This is something where it truly is an off the beaten path. You're going to have those amazing experiences, and you can explore. Just even the ride to get to this property is an exploration. And because it's, it truly allows for families, it allows for, just adults, whatever. A lot of the moving pieces can be catered to. So, and again, a very small property. So on lots of acreage. So while you want to have that opportunity of, reconnecting, you also have the opportunity to actually have that elbow room that you really need.
Exactly. And since it's still fairly new, so they were in their second full season. They are seasonal, September to the end of April. Since they're still fairly new, their occupancy is still pretty low. So, visit now. They're going to be open in November. Get in there now before everyone, finds out and discovers this little gem.
And November, that November, December timeframe, that's our winter, their summer.
Yeah.
So really gives you an opportunity to continue to enjoy the amazing weather.
Exactly.
And of course, so the months that they're open, they're really open for that beautiful weather time frame.
Yeah.
So, and look, you can see how new and refreshed all of the accommodations are, the property itself. You can see all the clean lines behind it and the beautiful windows so that you can enjoy.
Yeah. And I'll mention, they use a lot of natural materials that you can find they found in the park to create the structure. But then there's so many little elements inside and little details that really bring out the culture of this region of Chile. For instance, like the throws on the beds. There is a local lady that makes all of them. She makes all the throws for the beds and the spa. And one of the excursions is that you can go to her shop and she will show you how she makes them and, see her skill.
Yeah, there's nothing like having that true cultural immersion on, how do the locals live and how do they do things?
Yeah, well, even more to that. So there's a lot of artifacts sitting around the hotel. They're not from some, catalog. They're gifts that the Mapuche culture gave the family because they have such a strong relationship. And so, and one of the new excursions is, so in Lake Ronco, there's an island and they still live there. And the family has great relationships with them. So one of the excursions that you can do is you can take the boat with a guide over to the island and meet with them, see how they live, see what, all about their culture, really immerse yourself in the destination.
That and that's super awesome. And so and I love that you have a lot of different opportunities. And while we're looking at some beautiful pictures here, we can see the waterfalls and a little bit of the springs where you can just kind of hang out in.
Yeah, yeah. So mentioning the springs, so these are some of the original hot tub pools that they built at the top of the mountain. They quickly discovered that not too many guests wanted to hike that far up in one day. So now they're piping down the hot water, and they built new pools. So it's not as long of a hike to get to the natural hot springs.
But you know what? But if you want to go up there, I'm sure that they would find a way to help you get up there. And if especially if you're looking at maybe a proposal or something like that, what a great way to do a unique proposal in a hot spring.
Exactly.
Where nobody else is going to be around. So you really do have that privacy.
Well, that's what's great about Futonge is they have excursions for everyone. Even so, the kids. So you mentioned that kids are welcome here. They absolutely are. And one of the excursions that they really love is the Darwin frog is very popular in this region. And one of the excursions that they love to do is you go to a specific part of the forest, and the guide helps you locate a Darwin frog. And if you've never seen one before, they're really, really cool. Google it. It looks like a leaf on the top, and then on the underside, it's like bright orange and black and white, and really neat.
That's so awesome. And because you've got the waterfalls and everything else, you have some types of some river the activity that you can do.
Yes. So this picture here, this is an extreme kayaker that comes every year. The property does not allow folks to kayak over their waterfalls. I just thought that was a really interesting photo. But a couple years ago, they had the Red Bull cliff diving competition here. And so now, since you can't cliff dive or kayak over a waterfall, what they do is you can rappel next to the waterfall that people dove off of, and then get in your kayak and continue on. So it's quite adventurous.
That's some nice heavy stuff. I'd certainly love to try that.
Exactly. And
so guys, if I'm willing to do it, that means that there's no reason why anybody shouldn't be able to do it.
Well, that's what I encourage people. Do something you've never done when you're traveling. Like that will be a lasting memory.
Yes, absolutely. So even, and for you guys who remember, I do have frozen shoulder and I'm willing to do it. So let's go for it.
Absolutely.
So, and here's some great opportunities. Again, the beautiful nature behind all of this. Our world is our oyster, and everything is, everything's a pearl. And so we really need to go and experience all these different pearls that are out there. And I mean, this is awesome. You've got these beautiful horses that you can go. The Gaucho ranches aren't too far away.
Well, so they have horses here on property that you can ride. And this is what's wonderful about a small property. We had a guest that really was an amazing experienced rider, and she wanted something more. So the family connected her with a local down the road a bit, and so she could really have that experienced, advanced horseback riding.
That's awesome.
But I want to mention, because it's so important at Futonge, is that so you have your adventure excursions, you have your cultural excursions, but one of the best pieces is their spa. So after all that, after a long day of being out and about, you come back to their amazing spa where they make their own oils from berries that you can find in the park. So again, it's a full circle when you're here.
That's so awesome. And so now we're looking at some pictures, somebody pouring wine in a very unique way, which is obviously takes quite a bit of learning to do that.
Yeah. So this is a photo from each of the three properties. On the left, that's Mastorella in Spain. In the middle there, that is a winemaker at Santa Rita. He was awarded this past year as one of the most innovative winemakers. I just thought that was an amazing photo of him. And
Yeah.
then Futonge, of course.
Yeah, and I love the bridge there. I'm absolutely in love with Futange, and can't wait to go. Can't wait to experience Chile. And as I mentioned, earlier, we can combine these properties. So if you want to do the two Chile properties, you can. You've seen some other properties as well from some of our other colleagues that have higher end properties like this, or smaller properties, and we can combine them. And so we can make them so that you have a great itinerary with, whether you're visiting, different parts of Spain, Portugal, or even France, because everything is right nearby. So everything is totally doable, and certainly something that I'd be really excited to help you guys on. So with that, this is the Amazing Mint collection, and it's really exciting to to be able to see all of the moving pieces behind it. Julie, is there anything else that you would love to share with anybody?
I think I pretty much covered it. Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful. I love sharing these properties. And I want to encourage people to dream. Make sure you're still dreaming about travel. And because it really is, it transforms you. You make memories for not only yourself, but also those that you're traveling with.
Yes, absolutely. And it's super exciting overall. And really, I'm excited to be able to offer, all of these. Julie obviously is my eyes and ears to the properties. And and she makes everything happen. So with our partnership, you can have it all. So again, I'm super excited. I thank you for joining, and I thank you for sharing. And I hope that you can come back and maybe share some more properties. So so until then, namaste. Thank you. And goodbye, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.